Seminoles will see if the not one but two players only meetings they had this week were effective.
Well, you hope it is. You hope that these guys, it's about effort. You can't coach effort. These guys have to do it, watch the tape, go out and execute with more consistency, and that's where Florida State is going to get from where they are now at 1-2 to 2-2 today.
Andrew Gantz of Northern Illinois kicks it off as NIU won the toss and deferred, and that is a touchback. It'll come out to the 25. Well, there have been a lot of issues for Florida State, John, but really Deondre Francois has not been one of them.
He's a tough football player. This guy can spin the rock when he has the time. That's been the problem. It's been the inconsistency on the offensive line. Now, talking with Walt Bell, their offensive coordinator and quarterback coach this week, they want Deondre to step up into the pocket, maybe miss some of that edge pressure that's been applied over the last 3 weeks. And believe me, Northern Illinois, they can bring that edge pressure. So that's something to watch the quarterback today from Florida State.
So the Seminoles come out throwing, and a pass is complete to Nyquan Murray for a gain of just about 3 yards. We saw that ball come out very quick.
Well, that's going to be a key. When you have a lot of inconsistency up front and identification problems, you want to get rid of the football quickly.
3 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Akers motions out of the backfield. Francois looking in that direction, passes, and has his man. It's caught by Gavin. He's up near midfield with a Seminole first down.
Mark, the key is time in the pocket and a good fake, shoulder fake right there. That moves the linebacker, moves the safety, gives you a window to throw the football as a quarterback. Good job by Francois moving that defender.
12th catch of the year for Gavin. That one goes for 19 yards. They fake the jet sweep, handoff. First carry, Cam Akers stood up right at midfield and forward into Northern Illinois territory to the 49, stopped by linebacker Lance DeVoe.
And Mark, it's a plus on first down for Florida State to gain 4, 5, 6 yards. They haven't been very efficient on first down, and that's led to pressure in the pocket on third down.
That first down carry picked up close to 5. Right back to Akers, running left this time, gets a decent block, but then is tripped up by Jalen Embry, the cornerback, off that side, a 3-yard gain.
And that time, Florida State, they run away from the best defender for Northern Illinois, and that's Sutton Smith. He's going to wear 15. He's an edge rusher. He's a dominant player, the best defender on that side of the football. That's somebody that Florida State has to account for.
There's Akers. He tumbles forward and should have the first down at the 42 of NIU. Once again, the cornerback Embry came up to make the tackle.
This is a nice opportunity for Florida State to fake that football in the backfield and take a shot downfield. Although the way they're lining up, this may be one of their quick screens to the outside.
And they got 4 receivers, including Akers, split out widest to the right. Francois, though, looking left, completes it to Gavin, who's immediately tackled at the 39, once again by Embry.
Another positive play on first down. This is going to be a theme for Florida State today. One of the things they really harped on this week at practice, stacking positive plays in succession.
Takes the handoff to Akers. His pass deflected and picked off by Jalen Embry. Well, he could not come up with it. Looked for sure like an interception for Embry, but he couldn't come away with it. And a break for Florida State. They don't turn the ball over here.
That is a huge break. This looked like the ball just hung in the air forever, and he's going to tip the pass to himself, but I think he bumped into his own teammate, and that caused the incompletion, or just juggled it on the way down.
Yeah, he got a little friendly fire there.
That's
Otherwise,
right.
That's an easy pick for Embry. So a huge break for Florida State. They keep it on the ground. Akers breaks a tackle, a spin, and he has a first down at the 28, brought down by the safety, Trayshawn Foster.
Very strong running in between the tackles you're going to get from Cam Akers. Normally that first arm tackle's not going to slow him down or bring him to the turf. Good second and third effort, good vision to get to that second level.
And McKelty Williams, one of the other safeties, had the first shot at him there. But a first down for the Seminoles, this on their first possession of the game. Akers in a crowd that time. Not much there. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. Vinny Labus, who had the big interception to help wrap up their win last week against Central Michigan, made the tackle.
Really good tackle there by Labus in the middle of the field. And that's really the first time Florida State has been stalled on first down. So that's a good sign for the Huskies and the defense. You know, their head coach, Rod Carey, he wants to throw that first punch. But in the 10th play of the drive, they're going to have to bow their back now with the ball inside the 30.
Give it to the wide receiver in motion, Harrison, and Trayshawn Harrison, a true freshman out of Seattle on the jet sweep, gains 13 yards.
Really nice patience by the freshman. Watch him dip inside and then back out, and then good blocking out in front by Bello and Akers to spring the freshman around the edge. That's just a good effort all the way around.
So first down for the Noles at the 16 of NIU. Pass comes to the near side to Gavin. He's got some running room, and he's inside the 5, and it'll be first and goal there. A 13-yard gain for Gavin on his second catch of the drive.
Well, the Huskies miss an opportunity for an interception. Now the Florida State Seminoles have the football inside the 5, and this is where it's very difficult to defend or account for quarterback run. You stick that football out like a carrot, and you may see 12 walk into the end zone.
Akers hit a second time and is tackled by Antonio Jones-Davis. Outside linebacker came up. He has a team-high 29 tackles now with that stop.
Watching Northern Illinois on defense over the last couple of games, they fly around to the football. They've been really good against stopping the run. They've been able to get their hands on the football. That's how they won the game last week with an interception. Now important for them to force Florida State or just hold them to a field goal opportunity here in the opening drive.
Francois throws to the end zone. Deflected and caught. Touchdown. Patrick was in the right place at the right time for the 8-yard touchdown catch for the Seminoles.
Mark, isn't that how you draw it up? That was perfect. Talk about execution. You have to have a little luck. They were lucky that the Huskies dropped an interception. Now they get a deflection off of Gavin right into the lap of Patrick for 6 points.
No question the ball was bouncing Florida State's way on that first possession.
Absolutely.
Last week at Syracuse in the first half, Florida State had 7 possessions. 5 of those were 3 and outs. Guayo's extra point. Maybe a little sigh of relief on that Seminole sideline as they score a touchdown on their first possession of the afternoon. Bounces on that first drive, but they go 13 plays, 75 yards, and just over 5 minutes to score.
Mark, if there's a team that's looking for a little bit of luck and a little bit more execution, it's Florida State. 13-play drive. It's the most plays on any scoring drive this year. So they found some continuity on offense, and you're hoping now that it gets contagious. You're hoping, if you're a Florida State fan, it carries over to the defense. And it seemed like the Huskies defensively, they had an answer. You know, they had a dropped opportunity to stall that drive, and those are the types of punches that their head coach Rod Carey wants them to take early, so they have to withstand that opening drive and score.
This is the first time Florida State has led an FBS team this year. They'd only led for just over 4 minutes out of 180 total minutes, and those 4 minutes were against Samford, an FCS team.
Quarterback for Northern Illinois, Marcus Childers.
Childers and NIU come out. Welcome those of you watching on ESPN News. Florida State has scored on their first possession. NIU with their first, and on the first carry by Jones, Marcus Jones, Janarius Robinson, the defensive end, a tackle for loss at 2 yards.
Nice opening play for Florida State as we take a look at the Huskies quarterback Marcus Childers, a guy that had some experience last year, has been throwing the football better and better this season, playing more relaxed, and that's what head coach Rod Carey wants to see out of that position.
Swing pass goes out to the flat. Spencer Tears in the game, one of their top wide receivers who's been a bit banged up. They were happy to have him back this week.
Well, he's got good size, and more importantly, he has speed to stretch the field. And that's what this NIU offense has been lacking, that explosive play down the field. So he was suspended for the first 2 games of the year. He's back now, played last week a little bit, had a touchdown catch, his first catch of the year. So they're hoping for big things out of 14.
Right out of the box, a 3rd down and 8 for the NIU offense. Childers in a crowd, rolling out, throws. It is caught, but only at the 28. And it's going to be 4th down.
Just a good job of applying pressure from Florida State. They bring one extra player that's picked up pretty well, but credit the secondary. They did a nice job of plastering downfield, and that really allowed Childress to roll to the short side and throw the football away.
It's a punt for Matt Ferentz, averaging 43 yards per punt so far this year, his long being a 57-yarder. There's a flag as the punt is away. DJ Matthews calling for the fair catch and takes it at the 24. "49-yard punt with no return, but we'll see about the flag. And our referee today, Trey Blake.
They may tack on the 5 yards to the end of that catch.
Backfield. That 5-yard penalty will be added on to the end of the kick. 1st down.
Indeed, that'll be the case. So out come the Seminoles for their 2nd possession. Their first possession, 13 plays, 75 yards, and a couple of fortunate bounces. The last one leading to an 8-yard touchdown catch for Jaquez Patrick.
It looked like Jalen Embry was going to be the recipient of an interception and stall the Seminoles on their opening drive, but he was not able to bring it down and control the football when he was going to the ground. And then a back shoulder slant route throwing away from Embry bounces off of Gavin into the arms of Jaquez Patrick for the opening score.
Patrick in the backfield. He gets the handoff from Francois, running right. There's some contact in the backfield, but he is able to get a 1-yard gain out of that before he's tackled by Antonio Jones-Davis.
Really like how this Husky defense runs sideline to sideline early in this game. You think Florida State, you think Florida teams, and it's going to be speed. But it looks like Northern Illinois has speed on defense.
Francois taking a shot and finds his man wide open. Murray.
When Francois has protection, he will eat you alive with his right arm. He has patience. He lets his receiver Murray clear the underneath linebacker. A big hole in the middle of that Husky secondary, and an explosive play for the Seminoles.
Goes for 30 yards and a 1st down at the 39 of NIU. Give to Patrick. Knocked down at 37 by Antonio Jones-Davis. 7 of his first 8 through the air for Francois.
I would say message delivered to that offensive line. Keeping him upright, not a lot of pressure in the pocket. He's been accurate down the field.
And the only incompletion is the near interception for NIU's Jalen Embry. Francois swings it out. Murray on the edge. A spin move and a 1st down. Lost the ball at the end, but it looks like it rolls out of bounds. All right, able to collect it back. An 11-yard gain.
Tamarian Terry, 15, is going to be the key block on the outside. He does a good job of screening off the defender, and that allows Murray to get down the sideline. So the Florida State Seminoles now offensively putting some positive plays together.
1st down at the 25-yard line. Patrick straight ahead, barreling through down near the 16. Stopped by McKelty Williams.
Mark, you can see the difference between the two runners. Akers a little bit shiftier, but when Patrick squares those shoulders, you want to get out of his way.
After a 9-yard run, he'll have a 1st down. Still fighting as he meets some resistance at the 10, but pushes his way forward. And it'll be a 1st and goal at the 8 for FSU, a 9-yard pickup.
Good momentum and good tempo offensively for the Seminoles right now. Kind of wearing down early the Huskies defensively.
8 first downs already today for FSU. Patrick. He's wrapped up.
Patrick on the carry. Hogan's on the stop. Northern Illinois.
Ortez Hogan's on the tackle. As Patrick comes out. Cam Akers takes his spot. About total yards. FSU fans are saying to themselves, we've been waiting to see that kind of discrepancy. There goes Akers, and he's going to stroll into the end zone. Touchdown. A 7-yard TD run for Cam Akers. Thanks to the block from McKinney, he just waltzed into the end zone for his first rushing touchdown of the season.
Mark, remember we were talking about that fan base about 15 minutes ago, not being so happy. I think they're starting to put their hands together and get off their backsides for this Florida State team early in this game.
Point after for Aguayo. And he makes it 14-0. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns for Florida State.
Talking about execution, this offense, and especially the offensive line, I think got the message. And you can feel the juice that head coach Willie Taggart's trying to relay to his players. And I think it's more about the players. You know, we talked about the players only meeting on Sunday and Monday. It's about those guys executing. Not on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. That's important. But on game day, they have to find a way to translate what they do in practice to a game day situation. And so far with those opening 2 drives, offensively, they look pretty good.
Willie Taggart. Happy to see that offense find some life.
And there's no way to sugarcoat the start for Florida State to the season. It was ugly, and they had to do something today to correct that. And so far through the first opening minutes of this game, they've been very successful at doing it.
Otis Kokasulis. Take a knee. It's going to come out for NIU's second possession. Let's see what the Huskies offense can muster for their second drive. Mike Arini, thanks very much. We welcome you to Tallahassee. First 2 possessions for Florida State have resulted in touchdowns. Second possession for NIU in their first play of this drive. The quarterback Marcus Childers throws it away. Deondre Francois and Florida State. A lot of heat on this team coming into this week with a 1-2 record. Bad loss Labor Day Monday against Virginia Tech. Had to come back late to beat an FCS team, Samford, for their only win, and then a really rough game at Syracuse last week.
A lot of frustration within the fan base, within the coaching staff, especially with the players. They had a players-only meeting not once but twice this week, and so far it's translated into 14 points and domination on defense.
Pass catch by DJ Brown of the Huskies. He's run out of bounds at the 27 for just a 2-yard pickup.
Mark, really important right now for Marcus Childers to make a play here on 3rd down and keep this offense on the field. You have to find a way to get some momentum offensively, and you know you may face some heat. Head coach Rod Carey hoping his team can make this conversion here.
Last year's MAC Freshman of the Year, Marcus Childers, took over as the starter in Game 5 of last year. Rolling out, still looking, dumps it off underneath, incomplete. Looking for Corey Lurch. And a quick 3 and out there for NIU.
Nobody in a white jersey can create separation in the secondary. That's going to force Marcus Childers to hold the football and just throw it away and bring on the punting unit again.
Second punt for the sophomore from St. Louis, Matt Ferentz. Angling the right side, and it takes a bounce. Out of bounds near the 30. 4:27 to play first quarter in Tallahassee. And in the right place, Jaquez Patrick for the 8-yard touchdown catch. And then Cam Akers strolls in with a 7-yard touchdown run. That has made it 14-0, and Florida State about to get the football for a third time, along with former Pitt quarterback John Congemi. I'm Mark Neely, Edward Ashoff down on the field. We can't really overstate how emotional this town has been this week, man. It's been heated.
It's been frustrating. It's been frustrating for the fans. It's been frustrating for the coaches and the players. But the players-only meetings, not once but twice on Sunday and Monday, I think it's really translated into more execution, more effort. I really like what Willie Taggart told us last night. He says, you know, it's about communication, but it's about a belief of what you're doing. And I think these guys are letting their ability shine true today so far.
Cam Akers with about a 4-yard carry. Let's check in down below with Ed Moore on Coach Taggart.
Yeah, guys, I was watching Coach Taggart after both those touchdowns, and he made sure to go by and dap up every single skill player, offensive lineman, after those touchdowns, yelling words of encouragement, telling them, hey, let's go, this is who we are. So you could definitely tell there's a little more energy on the sideline right now for him.
Yeah, Ed, thanks. No question, out of all the areas that Florida State has been catching heat on, is here's the jet sweep. Naquan Murray running right, turns the corner at the 40, steps out of bounds at about the 43. That is a first down. So you get the players untangled there on that Florida State sideline. But the offensive line certainly was kind of the target area that everybody was kind of looking at as having the big issues with this team.
Well, so many injuries up front, so many guys playing different positions, and that's a unit that has to have a cohesive practice to take it into a game situation. That hasn't happened for Florida State.
Francois being chased. He'll take off and slide down right at midfield.
Great awareness by Deondre Francois. He's going to feel the heat coming from his backside. He's able to escape, pirouette away from the pressure off the edge, and then make a positive play. So that's taken a negative, which has happened in the backfield for him a lot over the last 3 weeks in terms of sacks and hurries and hits and pressures, and turn it into a positive here.
Fake the jet sweep to Matthews, hand it off to Patrick, and he's hit in the backfield, but still able to power forward. Not only gets positive yardage, but a first down at the 46 of NIU.
This is a north-south runner that will run over you, and he's going to carry you if he gets a chance to square up those shoulders, and he's bringing along a couple of white jerseys for a first down.
He took the helmet of linebacker Antonio Jones-Davis right off. So the Seminoles marching once again here on their third possession. Handoff, Patrick running left. Coming up, though, Jalen Embry's had a very good start to this football game. He looks a little shaken up, though, after making that stop.
Holding that right leg or ankle. He may have got caught underneath trying to make a play there right in front of the NIU bench.
A loss of a yard. Second tackle for loss this year for Embry, but taking a seat there on the sideline. Patrick motions out of the backfield. Francois looking in his direction, throws to Terry, gets a block. Lost the football, but after he was out of bounds at the NIU 40.
Tamarian did a good job of scooping the football, but did his knee touch behind the line of scrimmage? Boy, it's very close. Looks like that right knee may be on the ground. The officials didn't call it.
I think they may take a look at this. That is indeed going to be the case, it appears.
The previous play is under review.
So let's see if that knee of Terry was down or not, and we'll take a quick timeout.
Here. Well, the Florida State fans breathing a little easier right now. Their team up 14-0, driving again. That play before the break from the views that we have seen, it looked like Terry's knee was down right as he made the catch.
It did, Mark. It looked like the right knee goes down on the ground there as he catches the football, stays there as he completes the catch, which would make him down around the 48-yard line of Florida State. There's the knee down right there. Makes the catch. He brings it up immediately, but I think when he had possession, his knee was down.
The receiver's knee was down at the 48-yard line. It will be third down.
So that turns what was a positive play into a loss of a yard. It was going to be a 7-yard gain had it stood.
And remember, the first two drives for Florida State, they were starting to stack positive plays together, especially on first down. They were able to correct the remedy of the last 3 weeks, get positive yardage on first down, and let Francois sit back and get rid of the football quickly. Now with third and very long, 3rd and 12, you would think you have to look for Sutton Smith on the bottom of the screen rushing the passer.
Watch number 15. He'll come off that left edge. Quick throw, and the strike caught by Matthews. Breaks a tackle, and then from behind gets knocked down by Matt Lorbeck, but he picks up 11. He's going to be just short.
And I think this offense is going to stay on the field and go for it here on 4th and short, trying to get up to the line of scrimmage.
That's indeed the fact. Handoff, Patrick. He's got enough.
He may have fumbled.
NIU saying they have it. Matt Lorbeck came out with it, and it is a fumble and a turnover.
The ruling on the field is a fumble. Recovered by the defense. First down.
There's an NIU player down as well, but Lorbeck came away with the football. Quentin Wynn, defensive end number 93, slow to get up. Let's take a look.
Well, it was a big hit right there. The ball is out clearly. I think that's a fumble. That's going to be NIU's football. You mentioned Lorbeck comes up out of the pile with it, but that's a huge hit.
Vinny Labus.
It looked like Labus, absolutely.
He forced the fumble. Labus, who had the big interception to help seal the win last week over Central Michigan. It's Ben Leroy as the NIU player, and is being assisted.
Leroy was on the bottom of that pile as well, and they're looking at his lower leg as he stayed down after the big hit, but that was the play that NIU needed on defense.
Long pass and off the fingertips and incomplete, looking for DJ Brown.
Well, the NIU defense throws a punch, gets the football back, and this is a heck of a throw under pressure right as he gets rid of the football. This is a terrific job by Childers of throwing a catchable ball, and that's one of those things that DJ Brown, you have to make those plays down 14-0. Those are the opportunities that the Huskies have to make offensively down the field.
Childers took a couple of hits, high and low, after delivering that football. Going to keep it here. Childers hit hard there. Only picks up a couple of yards. Hamza Nasruddin, free safety, came up to put the lick on the quarterback.
Both teams playing aggressive on the defensive side of the football. Nasruddin comes up and kind of wakes up Marcus Childers at the quarterback spot. So now you have a team that misses that explosive play on first down. You get a couple yards on second, 3rd and 7. This is where head coach Rod Carey, you have to protect the football, number one, but you really want to move the chains, keep your offense on the field, take this crowd out of the game. They're starting to feel it a little bit, getting rid of that frustration over the last 3 weeks. So we'll see what happens here as the first quarter winds down.
All Seminoles, though, in quarter number 1. The 8-yard touchdown pass and run. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. From Tallahassee, Florida, we begin the second quarter. Florida State out to a 14-0 lead. Northern Illinois facing a 3rd down and 7 from their own 38. Childers, the quarterback, under pressure, dumps it off, and it's dropped. Spencer Tears. It's an incomplete pass. Florida State thinking it was a catch and fumble. It was not. Incomplete pass, 4th down.
Yeah, I don't think Tears ever had possession. Good job of extending the play by Childers, but that's 2 drops on that set of downs. A deep ball by DJ Brown. If you make it, it's a huge chunk yardage play down inside the 30-yard line. You get third and medium, and you can't convert. And this is getting old for NIU on offense, bringing out the punting unit.
Third punt for Matt Ferentz. His first two have gone for 48 and 43. Matthews to return it from the 23. Stapled down at about the 33. It's going to bring out the offense for Florida State. Deondre Francois, his team had been outscored in the first quarter this year 29-7 in the first 3 weeks, but they're up 14-0 through a quarter today. And he called out his teammates this week. He flat out said after the Syracuse game, we're getting outplayed every game, not playing hard enough. It's not the coaches, not the play calling, it's on the team.
You know what? He's right. He was exactly right. And that's why they had the players-only meetings on Sunday and Monday, and I think everybody got a chance to express how they felt, and more importantly than how they felt, how they're going to get better and execute on offense, on defense, on special teams. So far through a quarter and about a half a minute, not too bad for Florida State.
Cam Akers straight ahead for just a couple. But to your point, not one, but 2 players-only meetings. In fact, we'd only heard about one that was on Monday, and Coach Taggart told us last night. He said, actually, there was one on Sunday, and that didn't go all that well. And they decided to have a second players-only meeting on Monday. And we asked Coach Taggart, what's your feeling when you hear your players are having a players-only meeting? As Gavin down the sideline lowers the shoulder, has a first down to about the 45. And Coach Taggart said, hey, I was all for it.
Well, something had to change, and the coaches can only coach so much. It's about the players. This is a players' game. And if the players can't figure it out, you're in trouble as a football team.
3 receivers up top. He looked that way, but here's some pressure. He'll get up near midfield for a gain of a couple. Ed has more down on the sideline.
Yeah, Willie Taggart told me earlier this year that, Deondre Francois was a guy who wanted to be a leader. He just didn't know how to be a leader, and that's kind of a similar way that he had to teach Justin Herbert at Oregon, the same kind of thing.
That's worked out well for what he left behind at Oregon, and now Francois, who I think admittedly was kind of a reticent guy at times and maybe not the vocal leader that he is starting to become.
Well, I think he's one of the guys now, which is a big change for Deondre and the way he plays the position. You have to be. You have to be that spark plug on offense where everybody can come to you and you have an answer for anybody's question. You have to be the leader of this team.
Send Murray in motion, and a jet sweep it to him, but it's well defended. That's Trayshawn Foster, the safety, who tackles him for a loss of 7.
Set the perimeter, not 1 but 2 or 3 white jerseys, and Foster's the guy that's going to come to your top of the screen right side and really say no to Patrick getting the edge. It's just good leverage and good positioning. You got help on the inside. All you have to do is be as wide as the widest player, and that's exactly what Foster did.
First punt of the day for the Seminoles. Logan Tyler. Tucker in stride at the 19. Hit hard right as he got to the sideline at the 25. Florida State here early in the second quarter. 4th possession for the Northern Illinois offense. Their first 3 possessions have all been 3 and outs, but it's an opportunity here where Northern Illinois needs to start doing something offensively.
Well, you're starting to settle into the game, both teams. You need an explosive play, something to turn the tide for the Huskies.
Here's Brown. Pick up 6 on first down, close to that at the 31, stopped by Dontavius Jackson. There's their 3 first drives, looking for their first down.
And a good positive play on first down compared to the first 3 that we're taking a look at, all resulting in punts. So your quarterback, Marcus Childers, he's been under a little bit of pressure, had to throw the football away, running from the pocket to the near sideline. And you hope on first down, you get a little momentum going, see if they can stack a positive play now here on second.
Give us to Jordan Nettles. He keeps it moving. That's going to be really close to their first down. We'll see where they spot it.
I think he has it.
And indeed is first down number 1 of the afternoon for Northern Illinois. And they're run by redshirt freshman Jordan Nettles.
Well, very first down of the game. You've got your spark plug and Spencer Tears back on the roster playing for you? Do you try to get him one-on-one? He's at the bottom of the screen down here. Do you try to get it to your playmaker outside?
Childers looking left, throws to the sideline. That's Jawan Wesley with his team leading 15th catch of the season. Gain of 4 yards.
As long as you can stay ahead of the chains if you're Northern Illinois on offense, you're going to start keeping this Seminole defense on the field. This is a rested group right now. They've only played 11, 12 plays in this football game. So you want to be able to keep the pressure on the Seminoles defensively.
Defense that played a lot of plays last week at Syracuse in the heat of the dome. Again, pass far side. This time it's Cole Tucker. He steps out near the marker, maybe just a bit shy.
Nice adjustment by Northern Illinois, attacking the short side of the field with quick throws.
It is 3rd and less than a yard. Handoff, first down run. Nettles, he'll have it up to midfield. Jordan Nettles, one of the 3 backs in that rotation primarily for Northern Illinois. He's the one that's kind of the explosive guy, 5'9", 180 pounds, redshirt freshman.
Any flavor, you've got it for the Huskies in the offensive backfield. Jones the speed guy, Harbison more of a bigger back, and Nettles does a little bit of everything.
Northern Illinois has moved the football up to midfield. Time to throw. Childers trying to place it in, having to wait on it. Wesley, and it's broken up. A flag comes in. Cyrus Fagan, the safety on the coverage. An underthrown ball, but Wesley made the adjustment. And Fagan with the contact draws the flag.
It was a good job by Wesley of putting the defensive back on his hip, because if this is an accurate throw, it's a touchdown. It's an easy walk-in. Good hesitation at the line of scrimmage. You've got 3 steps
There's
on
no
a
foul
Florida
for
State
defensive
defender.
pass interference. It'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, they're going to pick up the flag.
Boy, I don't know. There was some contact with the right arm right there battling for the football. Might have been a little push-off by Fagan. They're going to pick up that flag, so a break, I believe, for Florida State.
And Florida State has caught some breaks in this game. Their first possession, a ball that really could have been picked off by the NIU defense, was not.
Deflection for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Right.
A little bit of lady luck has been going Florida State's way, and the Seminole fans I know right now are screaming at the computer or laptop or TV saying,
"We deserve it.
Yes,
we need it.
It's overdue." Childers again finding Wesley, who gets bumped down hard by Asante Samuel, the true freshman cornerback.
Well, that was a big-time hit on the Northern Illinois sideline. Asante Samuel's coming out, makes a good play with the shoulder, trying to separate player and football. No flag on the play. It looked like that head lowers and makes contact, but a good aggressive play by Samuel.
Who knocked the ball out, an incomplete pass. So it's a 3rd and 10 for the Huskies from midfield.
Must identify if you're the Huskies offensive line. You don't want pressure in the pocket.
Watch out for 99, Brian Burns. Childers, pass to the sideline. Off the hands of DJ Brown, incomplete. That would have been enough for the first down had he hung on.
Really nice job by Childers. He hangs in the pocket, but you can't do this if you're DJ Brown. As a team, this is the 4th drop. You're hanging in there as long as you can. You throw a dime to the perimeter. That one moves the chains and gets you in great field position.
Brown probably knew he was going to take a hit, and he still took that hit, even though he didn't catch it.
You might as well catch it, right?
Matt Ferentz back out to punt, but the NIU offense did show some signs of life there. Angling at the left side, and it's going to land out of bounds. We'll see where they mark it, but it will be the worst starting field position of the game for FSU.
Timeout.
Bowl pairings came out, and they made it to the Orange Bowl. And now Rod Carey in his 6th season.
He's been very successful in his 6th season. 45 wins, the win percentage, 4th in school history for both of those statistics. So he's a guy you want to play for, and his team always prepared and plays hard.
Yeah, they're one of the heavyweight programs in the MAC, and they are the preseason pick in the MAC West Division. Short run for a couple of yards for Cam Akers.
Northern Illinois and head coach Rod Carey, they want to make this game a four-quarter game. They believe that if they can get it into the fourth quarter, and this drive defensively may do some justice in getting them there if they can pin Florida State back, but they've played every team on their schedule very tough, especially Iowa and Utah, two big-time teams.
Akers running left, still trying to find the edge. A stiff arm, he's pulled down close to the 9 by Trayshawn Foster. Ed has more down below.
Yeah, it was funny in talking to Kerry when he said, hey, you know, about 15 minutes before my press conference or that I was going to go on, they said, hey, you got to go quick because we got to turn on the TV. And when they turned on the TV, he finds out, hey, we're going to the Orange Bowl. He had no idea. And then our colleague, Kirk Herbstreit's ripping him and saying they had no business being in the Orange Bowl. So great welcome for him at Northern Illinois.
They did play in that 2013 Orange Bowl and a great game in the history of NIU football. There's a catch by DJ Matthews, and he gives him a first down up at the 17.
Terrific job by Matthews of gaining inside leverage and coming down with that catch. That's just a good job of coming in and out of a route, getting the defender on your hip and making the first down.
Francois keeping, he's pressured and brought down. Lance DeVoe with the quarterback sack.
This is just going to be pressure from the field. This is a little play action. This is a long developing play. Deondre never sees the extra guy coming from the field, and you got to account for that in your head as a quarterback. Throw that football away and don't take the loss. You're right next to the sideline, kind of drifting towards the Florida State bench. Try to throw that one away and save some yardage.
As a result, it lost 6. Trying to get through the crowd. Akers cannot. He's tackled by Weston Kramer, one of the defensive tackles, and that's a loss of a couple of yards.
So a couple of negative plays now creeping into the side, the offensive side for Florida State. Get a sack on first down, a negative run on second. Let's credit this defense for Northern Illinois. They've done a nice job of winning that battle at the line of scrimmage on back-to-back plays. Looks like they're only going to rush 3 here, play coverage, dropping 8. Everybody deep in that secondary for the Huskies.
Line to gain is the 27. From the goal line, dumps it off to the 1, and the football comes out.
It's still live.
This is still a live football. And Tafante Hunt is tackled at the 23-yard line. Well, McKitty on the reception, and then he lost the football.
This is just to get a little bit more room for your punting unit to come out. McKitty's going to take it upfield, helmet right on the football. That's just Foster coming from the safety position. He forces the fumble. This play is still alive. Hunt picks it up alertly, but that's the helmet on the arm and on the football. Just a great job by Trayshawn Foster from the safety spot. He forces the fumble, Hunt gets on it, and it's instant field position for the Huskies.
Well, Antonio Jones-Davis had it initially for Northern Illinois. I thought he may have been down.
They may look at this. You may be correct, Mark.
And that's what they're going to take a look at to see if
Timeout.
Antonio Jones-Davis was down or not. It's going to be NIU football one way or another. Foster, Antonio Jones-Davis has it, and then he fumbles before the knee is down is the ruling from replay. Then it's picked up by Tafante Hunt, who actually gave up ground and lost a few yards from where he picked it up. So here's a first down and taking a shot into the end zone. There is some contact, some feet got caught up, but no flag, incomplete in the end zone going for Spencer Tears.
Well, Kyle Myers and Spencer Tears were tangled up, 2 14s battling in the near side corner of the end zone. Incomplete, but I like the shot. You got to keep taking those shots. I know that they're 0 for 3 right now with those deep shots, but you have to get the Florida State secondary off the line of scrimmage, take some pressure away from this offensive line, and allow those receivers to work.
Under 7 minutes to go first half. Northern Illinois trying to take advantage of the second Florida State turnover of the game. We go to the Wildcat with Trey Harbison triggering that. Here's Harbison running straight ahead. He gains about 4 to the 20, stopped by Dontavius Jackson.
D-Jack in the middle of that defense for the Seminoles. We got a chance to chat with him last night, and he talks about his job, what it is on the defensive side of the football. He's identifying all the time. He's communicating. He's looking for tendencies. Well, he made a good play there on second down.
It brings up a 3rd and 7 for the Huskies, who are 1 of 5 on 3rd down.
Somebody has to make a play. It's man coverage. Here comes pressure. You have to make a play on the outside.
Pump fake, Childers towards the end zone. Caught. The signal. Touchdown. Juwan Wesley. His 2nd touchdown catch of the season. And for Childers, his 5th touchdown pass. And Northern Illinois is on the board with 6 minutes to go in the half.
That's a game changer right there. Marcus Childers with that shoulder pump fake. And a good route on the outside by Wesley. Got separation in 6 points.
Well, Wesley, who a couple of weeks ago had a career-high 8 catches. Transfer for Iowa State from Iowa State. Gantz for the point after. And it is a 7-point game.
Well, the defense sets the table. They get great field position for the offense, and Marcus Childers does an excellent job. And on the outside, Juwan Wesley, what a move. You want a 4-quarter game? You might have just got one from Northern Illinois.
Followed by the game at 8:15 on ESPN. It's on ESPN2 in Spanish.
Now, Mark, if you thought the fan base at Florida State and Tallahassee was upset, how about the Stillers right now? 0-1-1, rough start, but the Bucks and quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick completing close to 80% of his passes. He's playing lights out right now.
That's kicked out of bounds and is going to give Florida State great field position at the 35. Second time this year Ferentz has kicked one out of bounds.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, who would have thought a couple weeks into the NFL season the Browns fans would feel better than Steeler fans, huh?
Not a lot of people. I'm one of them. Yeah, how about Ryan Fitzpatrick? He's done a great job. And right now, Deondre Francois for Florida State, going to get the football with excellent field position. The first 2 drives, they were very successful. 145 yards, 2 touchdowns. They were able to move the football. But the last 3, 2 fumbles, a punt, and only 67 yards. They have to get it going again on offense.
Send Murray in motion, fake the jet sweep to him, give to Patrick. And that time, not much. Maybe a half-yard. Cortez Hogan and some others for NIU.
And it all starts on first down. The success of this offense really has been predicated or stalled by the lack of production on first down. Anytime Florida State's had a positive play, they seem to stay the offense on the field and keep momentum going, but a negative play on first down leads to a punt.
Comes some pressure off the edge. Francois down the sideline for Gavin, and he drops it in. Stays on his feet. He's tackled at the 25-yard line of NIU by Tafante Hunt. That's a 39-yard gain.
You cannot throw a better pass than this one right here. Good protection up front, standing tall, delivering on time, and just dropping a dime on the Florida State sideline. That's perfectly executed by Deondre Francois.
Officials.
The ruling on the completed pass for a first down. The previous play is under review.
The only thing they can be looking at is maybe was he out of bounds when he made the catch, a foot near the sideline, because
boy, initially, Mark, it really looked like it was in bounds, but the officials had reason for a delay here.
So the headset goes on our referee Trey Blake, and as they take a look at that, we'll take a quick 1-minute timeout. But on the way out, was he in? Was he out? That looks like a catch. Might be out back at that spot, though. He scored on their first couple of possessions, have not on their last 3, but this is a catch. The call is confirmed on the field. Keith Gavin. So the call has stood.
Terrific job by Francois, just dropping it in the bucket down the Florida State sideline. and good concentration by Gavin to secure the catch. And now you get that explosive play in Florida State knocking at the door at the 26-yard line.
12 straight. Francois has completed 15 to 16. The one incompletion is a ball that really should have been picked on the first possession of the game. Francois steps up. That's deflected and drops incomplete. Getting a hand on that was defensive tackle Marcus Kelly.
Florida State offensive line has done a good job of keeping Francois protected today. This time a little penetration off the edge, but a good recognition. If you can't get there, try to make a play by getting in a throwing lane, and that's exactly what Leroy does.
Sutton Smith not out there once again for NIU. We haven't mentioned his name much today. The guy who's been one of the best rushers off the edge the last couple of years. Pulls it out of the belly of Patrick, and Francois is tripped up. And Cortez Hogans.
That's a great job of tackling in the open field. Hogans does a good job of recognizing the quarterback has the football and just gets a hand on a shoe, it looked like, at the bottom of this tackle. Just an arm tackle right there on the inside leg and brings the quarterback to the ground. You want to stay away from a negative play. 3rd and 9. You're in field goal range. You want to make a positive play here. Florida State 3 of 6 on 3rd down.
Florida State uses their first timeout.
This is critical down for Florida State. They've been stagnant through most of the second quarter. They get a big explosive play on a pass play that Keith Gavin catches inside the 35-yard line, and now Florida State facing a 3rd and 9. Have to come up with a big play.
Coming up tonight, 8 Eastern time, 5 Pacific on ABC. 7th ranked Stanford and number 20 Oregon face off in Eugene on Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. And it also streams live on the ESPN app. Cardinal head coach David Shaw expecting Heisman hopeful Bryce Love back for this big Pac-12 North matchup.
Just talking about defense, Oregon has a defense as we look at the main guy for the Huskies, Sutton Smith. Oregon top 10 in rushing defense, rushing touchdowns, yards per rush. Hoping the Huskies right now on 3rd and long get some production up front to put pressure on Francois.
Sutton Smith back in there. It is 3rd and long for the Seminoles. Francois towards the end zone, incomplete. Through in the direction of DJ Matthews.
Florida State right on the cusp of going for a field goal or keeping their offense on the field. Looks like they're going to send out the field goal unit and give it a try from probably 40-plus yards.
And a couple things to keep in mind here, John. You got Aguayo, who hasn't been all that effective. He's 1 for 4. His only make is from 22 yards. And you have a Northern Illinois team that is known for their blocks.
3 this year.
This is from 42 yards, just inside the left hash. Got plenty of leg. And Ricky Aguayo knocks it through, and Florida State makes it a 10-point game with just under 4 minutes left in the first half.
You know you want the touchdown, but you get points there, and that's good for the Seminoles with just under 4 minutes left to go before halftime.
Hey, let's look at today's mayhem moment brought to you by Allstate. Florida State made a statement early in this game.
They really did, and they were trying to get out of their own end, but a big hit by Trayshawn Foster coughs up the football. Jones Davis on it. It looked like Hunt was going to go for a long time, but then they turn around offensively and just great execution on the outside. Wesley, the recipient of a perfect pass by Marcus Childers. So execution on defense, shorten the field, and the offense takes advantage for the touchdown.
So our All-State mayhem moment helped get NIU back in the football game.
Sure did. And that was, you give up 3 points there. That's probably a win, I would say, defensively for Northern Illinois. keep it a 10-point game. You still have plenty of time before halftime and 3 timeouts remaining. So all the time in the world for quarterback Marcus Childers and that offense to get more points before half.
Wow, you don't see that often. That's going to come out to the 25 with the new rule. Fotis Kokasulis. Anywhere you fair catch inside the 25, it's going to come out.
I've seen that a couple times this year, and actually, you know, with the team speed of Florida State, you take a 1st and 10 at the 25, I would think, and get your offense teed up. As we take a look at the numbers for Marcus, 7 of 15 for only 41 yards, but he does have that touchdown and the 7 points on the Husky side.
Head coach Rod Carey, who cut his teeth as an offensive line coach. In fact, was O-line coach, run game coordinator, offensive coordinator at NIU before taking over after Dave Doran left to go to North Carolina State. Loose football! And Childers able to jump back on, and that was almost a catastrophe for NIU.
But you're not thinking scoop and score if you're Brooks. Go down and put your shoulder pads and dive on the football. This is a live ball. It's a bad exchange, quarterback and running back. If you're 28 in garnet and gold, get on the ground. That's a good effort by Childers to get back on the football, but you got to make a better effort defensively. Even if you collision the quarterback on the ground, you may create another bobble.
And to Kalen Brooks, son of Florida State NFL great Derek Brooks, the one that almost came up with that for the Seminoles. Childers wrapped up and tackled by Corey Durden.
Corey Durden on the stop of the Seminoles.
And now if you're Florida State, you're thinking about getting the football back.
Absolutely. Just going to say that. You read my mind, Mark, about how you play this 3rd and 16. Keep everything in front of you. You've got plenty of time. You got 2 timeouts remaining. Make him catch it, come up and make a tackle. That's the mentality if you're on defense right now. Pressure the pocket, but make sure everything is in front of you, not behind you.
Northern Illinois letting that play clock run down, trying to eat as much clock as they can. Playing it safe, hand off, and Jordan Nettles in at the 22 and the timeout called by Florida State. So they're going to have 1 left.
4th down.
So 2:19 left in this first half, and an NIU punt upcoming that's going to give Florida State the ball back. Let's take a quick 15-second timeout. Out to a 14-0 lead. They lead at 17-7, and Northern Illinois about to punt it back to them with 1 timeout remaining for Florida State.
Northern Illinois in punt formation.
Opportunity for Florida State to flip the field here with excellent field position if they can field this punt cleanly.
Matthews accepts it at the 36. Cuts upfield to midfield. A flag comes down. A couple of flags come out. He's still running inside the 40. Tackled at the 37. But the flags came out back near midfield. It was a 27-yard return. Looks like it may be coming back.
During the return, holding, number 84 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Darius Dent on special teams called for the hold.
There was a couple flags, but Dent, 84, he's going to get the hold right in the middle of your screen here. That's the hold. Initially, that's the tackle that was called right on the logo of the Seminole. But Florida State still with pretty good field position on the 41-yard line. But those are the penalties, those are the things that really hold you back. You lose some valuable field position with 2:04 before halftime, and now the offense want to exhaust this 2:04 and end with points. Whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, you'd love to go in with more momentum, and that was really the first penalty of the game.
It's been clean on both sides. First penalty on either side. Well, Florida State begins from their own 41 with that 1 timeout and 2:04 to go. Francois to the air. Completion at the 45, and a nice little step there by Patrick to get up to midfield, a 9-yard gain.
Nice play call, and all go just with an arrow V with that running back. He's going to go out like he's going to the flat, cuts back in wide open underneath the linebackers.
Hand off Patrick. Enough for the first down.
That'll stop the clock. Florida State will be able to organize themselves with 1:37 left to go, so plenty of time. No need to rush, but you'd like to be urgent enough, especially with identification now as you're closing into halftime on that offensive line.
Hurry in motion. Francois throws for Gavin, incomplete. A little bit of contact there, but nothing significant with Jalen McKee covering. Coming up at halftime, Urban Meyer returns officially for Ohio State. And also, can a Saban former assistant finally beat him? Jimbo Fisher, former Florida State head coach, now at Texas A&M, will attempt that.
Those guys together at LSU from 2000 to 2004, getting reacquainted.
Francois, near side. This time caught by Gavin, fighting his way near the marker. He's going to be a little short. Yeah, very close. Yeah, they'll say first down.
That's how Florida State started the game, Mark. Short passes, quick passes to the near side of the field. Maybe a double move coming here to the short side.
Francois throws out to the 30.
Now remember, last week against Syracuse, Florida State in this situation, as the clock was winding down, they got 0 points out of this scenario. They see if they've learned from last week.
Prior to the snap, timeout, Northern Illinois. Their first of the half. It will be 30 seconds.
So an NIU timeout. Yeah, that really was their best offensive drive in the first half last week against Syracuse, but they got no points when they mismanaged the clock near the end of half number 1 at Syracuse last week. Well, they began on Labor Day Monday with a 24-3 loss here to Virginia Tech with 5 turnovers. Then had an FCS team here in town and beat Samford, though they had to come from behind in the fourth quarter to win that game over Samford. And then last week, just when we were talking about that game at Syracuse, even though they didn't play well, they were in the game at half and into the third quarter, even though they really did nothing offensively.
I think they were deflated in this scenario last week. They moved the football. You mentioned, Mark, their best drive of the afternoon in the Carrier Dome, and they come away with 0 points because when the clock was under 20, they complete one inbounds. They didn't have enough time to spike it. They didn't have another timeout, so you had the ball inside the 25-yard line with nowhere to go. And let's see how this team reacts. Let's see how the players react. Let's see what plays are called. Let's see if they can execute with 31 seconds remaining before halftime.
Francois under pressure. Dropped at the 20. Quentin Wynn had the coverage, as did Rayshawn Gay.
Under duress was Deondre Francois, but he throws a catchable pass. That would have been a tough one, but a catchable pass on the outside, which is going to bring up 3rd and 2. Most importantly, you want to get this first down. This might be a quarterback run.
Francois is going to throw it and has the first down catch by Gavin. Avoids 1, 2 tacklers. Tried to bounce off at 3rd, but it'll have a first down at the 13. They'll stop the clock to move the chains.
And you want to spike it if you're Florida State. You have a timeout remaining. This is a good ball. Wide side of the field. Easy pitch and catch on the perimeter.
And that was Trayshawn Harrison, 88 that is, who made that catch. His second play of the half. And they spike it to stop the clock with 14 seconds left.
That's a good job. You've got plenty of time. You've got a timeout remaining. You can run the football if you like. You can throw it twice into the end zone. But you have options now with getting the first down and spiking it on first down. You got 2 plays and 14 seconds to execute offensively.
High snap. A race. Francois, it's still loose, and then it's jumped out.
Need a timeout.
By Minshew. But that puts it all the way back at the 33-yard line. That's a loss of 20 yards.
The last possible thing you're thinking of as a head coach, as a coordinator, as a quarterback, is the snap going 5 feet over your head and a loss of close to 20, 25 yards. That ball, you can't do anything about that if you're Deondre Francois. You're lucky to get on it. Good hustle on the play by the offensive line and Cole Minshew. But that's a head scratcher if you're head coach Willie Taggart. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing in the playbook, a remedy for that type of mistake.
So now you're looking at a 50-yard field goal instead of what was going to be a 30-yard chip shot.
You're looking at 0 points, or the potential of 0 points, when you had 3 in the bank, you thought, with a chip shot field goal. And now you mentioned this before, Mark. This is a long kick. Long kicks, they're low coming out. This is a football team and special teams for the Huskies that have blocked 3 kicks this year.
Yeah, they had 6 blocks last year. They've had 9 different kicks blocked in their last 16 games coming in. So officially a 51-yard attempt with 7 seconds left in the half.
NIU has 2 timeouts remaining. They may take a timeout before this kick is attempted.
And indeed they do. And you can stream college football all season long on ESPN Plus. You can start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com.
That last set of downs, in my opinion, is going to test the mental toughness of Florida State. You know, this is a team, 2-player meetings this week. Things haven't gone well. They're 1-2. You think you're going to erase that before the half scenario from last week for this week, and something creeps in just like it. Now, this field goal might help you out, but if something bad happens or you miss and you go to the locker room and you don't get any points, that movie starts playing over in your head. That's where you need to have leadership and mental toughness as a football team.
And that's not a movie Florida State fans want to see again.
That's a nightmare.
Aguayo from 50 yards. And Northern Illinois says we're not going to go to the locker room with any timeouts in our pocket.
You don't have to, can't do anything with them in the locker room, right?
So they'll let the junior Ricky Aguayo think about it a little bit more. He has hit from 42 yards earlier in this quarter. Now this season, for every field goal, an extra point made by participating universities. All-State will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, All-State. Seminole fans are hoping another donation is headed their school's way here in just a few moments. 51 is the career long for Aguayo.
We saw him warming up pregame, and he had plenty of leg for this kick.
That was last year at Wake Forest. He had 18 of 21 a year ago. With the one he's made today, he's 2 of 5 this season. All right, no timeouts for NIU. Good snap. Plenty of leg. Got it. And Florida State says that ugly movie at the end of the first half at Syracuse is not going to be shown in the locker room this week.
Yeah, that would have been good from 60. That was a clean execution. It gets the crowd into it. You feel good as a player because you didn't squander a scoring opportunity, and you can jog to the locker room with a little bit more pep in your step.
So thanks to the 50-yarder from Aguayo, Florida State does salvage those 3 points on their last possession of the first half, and it's a 13-point game. So some handshakes for Aguayo, who knocks the 50-yarder home to make it 20-7 here at the intermission. A half that started out well for Florida State as they scored on their first 2 possessions. Let's check in with Ed.
Coach, how would you assess the play of quarterback Deondre Francois?
I thought he did some good things. He's taken off.
From Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee, we are ready to start the second half. Florida State and Northern Illinois out of the back. It's a 20-7 lead for the Seminoles. The Huskies to get the ball to begin the second half. Off from Logan Tyler.
Yeah, good job, everybody.
The fair catch made in the end zone will come out to the 25. Believe it or not, John, ESPN has a fan happiness index. We thought of everything.
Okay.
Coming into this week, this is no joke, the most stressed fans in the nation were Florida State fans.
I believe it.
Do they have a little less to be stressed about after the first half?
A little bit. It's not perfect. It wasn't perfect in the first half, but much better execution on offense. They were better at the offensive line position. Deondre Francois, the quarterback, was able to throw the football effectively. The defense set the table for him. Only 1 penalty in the first half. So a lot of the things that were ailing and holding back this football team mentally and physically, they were remedied in that first 30 minutes.
Kyle just keeps getting pushed up near the 30-yard line. Well, Northern Illinois, their lone score of the first half is a 20-yard touchdown pass to Juwan Wesley from Marcus Childers. They're in this game, but you certainly, if you're a Husky fan, want to see a little more production offensively here in half number 2.
Well, you need to. You need to find a way to stay on the field. Only 9 minutes, just over 9 minutes of possession, and only 2 of 7 on third down. So you have to do better on the early downs and not put so much pressure on third down.
High
that could
pass.
be a lateral.
Yeah, that almost looked like it, but it's out of bounds anyway. They're saying incomplete pass. Ed has more down below.
To Northern Illinois head coach Rod Carey coming out of the half, and he simply told me, look, we got to throw the ball more. We got to throw it around. We've got to get Spencer Tiers, wide receiver, more involved. And he said the defense settled in toward the end of the half, but, you know, moving Sutton Smith around more is kind of crux of that defense, so expect to see more of him in the second half.
Ed, thanks so much as we see that ball moved up to the 34-yard line. So for Northern Illinois, looking at a second down and short here, 2nd and 1. Loose football again. Childers picks it up. A couple of times today, Northern Illinois now has had some issues in the backfield.
You're right, Mark. That's twice on that quarterback-running back exchange on that zone read. It looks like the running back's taking it. Childers is trying to take it away, and it ends up on the ground. Marcus Jones is the guy right there, kind of lays it on the ground, and Childers alertly on the football again. That's twice the quarterback's been able to pick up that fumble and not turn a negative play into a loss of possession.
So now they face a 3rd down and 2 on their first possession of the second half.
Man coverage. We got to win on the perimeter here.
Childers. Incomplete. DJ Brown, the intended receiver, and he had Stanford Samuels right with him on his hip all the way down the field.
That's not the way you want to start if you're Northern Illinois on offense. You get a little momentum going. You have a 3rd and short. You have a fumble that makes it a little 3rd and much longer than it should have been. And now you're going to give the football back to a confident bunch on offense in the Seminoles.
Matthews accepts it at the 30. 12-yard return up to the 42. Deondre Francois, pretty good first half.
He really has had an exceptional first half in the protection. It all starts with protection and being fortunate this wasn't an interception. But being fortunate, he threw it away from coverage here. The deflection goes right to a Seminole for a touchdown. This is when he had time. He was more accurate down the field. Willie Taggart likes it. He likes the way his appearance on the field is that confidence level, and it shows in his numbers. 19 of 24, 233, and that touchdown pass on the deflection. But it's been more than that. I think he's made good decisions. He hasn't taken as many hits as he had in the past. Only been knocked down or touched 4 times in that first half, so that's a pretty good number compared to where they were over the last 3 weeks, where that was maybe in the first half of a football game. You're getting 9, 10, 11 shots on a quarterback, and it wears on number 12, no matter how tough and how physical you are.
And they've made Sutton Smith, number 15, defensive end for Northern Illinois, a non-factor so far in this game. Smith lines up on the right side of the D-line. And off Cam Akers. He stumbles forward across the 25 up to the 26, tripped up by Antonio Jones-Davis.
I don't know, Mark. I just think Akers gives you that explosive opportunity on the ground. Just the way he runs the football. He gets to that second level so quickly.
You know, 5-star recruit. A lot of rating services had him rated as the top running back coming out of his high school senior class. Loose. And Florida State jumps on that. That's Cole Minshew, the second time today he has jumped on a loose football.
And it's happening on both sides. It's just not the Huskies on offense. This time Florida State and their quarterback Francois tries to pull that football out. Might have hit an elbow. Gets on the ground, and you're right, that's the second time that Minshew's been able to get on a loose football.
And Abdul Bello for 75 down for Florida State.
That's not a good sign.
So they'll attend to Bello, and we'll step aside in Tallahassee. Offensive line for Florida State. Who takes that spot is always a story. So it's Williams who's there at the left tackle on this 3rd down and 10 play. And that's the movement. Juwan Williams, who just came into the game, jumped.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That just can't happen. Those are the types of plays that Florida State has been making over the last 3 weeks. Just mental breakdown. You come into a game, you have to play one play, and now you have 4 penalties on the Florida State sideline.
Now makes it a 3rd and 15. Francois across the middle. It dropped McKinney. That was enough. Would have been enough for the first down had he hung on up across the 30. There is a flag, though, back inside the 10.
Might have been a hold.
Holding, offense, number 59. That penalty is declined. Result of play, 4th down.
This one's going to go on Brady Scott, bottom of your screen right there. There's the hold. Sutton Smith does a good job of dipping inside and using that speed, and Brady Scott has no choice but to tackle him to save his quarterback.
Jalen Embry and Cole Tucker back to receive this punt. It's going to take a Florida State roll all the way down near the 30. So good punt. It goes for 54 yards. Hey, let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by PlayStation. Right now, the luck for former Saban assistants not going so well for Jimbo Fisher. So they're down 31-13.
No, and Georgia going on the road, taking care of business. Clemson doing the same. Ohio State putting it to Tulane, as you would expect.
And last night, Penn State had a little bit of an issue with Illinois.
For 3 quarters.
Yeah. Childers broken up nicely. Intended for Spencer Tears. And A.J. Westbrook, the safety, just brought that right arm around to break it up at the last moment.
I like the way this defensive secondary moves. They break on the football well. They complement the pressure up front. Trying to get the football to Spencer Tears, who's their playmaker on offense for the Huskies. But this defensive secondary, they complement each other really well, and they move quickly to the football.
Childers hands it off. Trey Harbison. Trey Harbison comes from a football family. His uncle Charlie Harbison, we've seen around the college football world for a lot of years, but right now he is in the NFL with the Arizona Cardinals as an assistant DB coach, but had been defensive coordinator at Purdue, Louisiana Lafayette, Mississippi State, Clemson, a lot of places.
Big game last week. First career 100-yard game. More importantly, Huskies need to find some yardage here on third down.
Childers, time running out, throws, nice catch. Reaching back by Cole Tucker, first down Huskies.
Boy, really good job by Marcus Childers, holding his ground and stepping up through the pressure. Just that one step gets him away from Brian Burns, and then way to idle down for the catch. He throws a catchable ball. This is under duress. He's able to throw it right between the 1 and 8 to Cole Tucker.
The 10-yard gain, first down, Northern Illinois from their own 43 for Cole Tucker, who's from right there in DeKalb, Illinois, redshirt freshman. Childers gets his tight end. This is Corey Lurch. Big fella rambles all the way near midfield. This is the first down via a pass today for Northern Illinois.
Well, as Ed said, he talked to head coach Rod Carey at halftime. This is a team that has to throw the football more, and what an effort. Breaking one, not one, but two by Corey Lurch, the big tight end.
It's Ryan Roberts, redshirt junior, that's down for Northern Illinois. The O lineman spends time at right tackle and right guard.
Looks like he's going to be able to walk off to the sideline. An issue with that lower left leg.
Ryan, whose dad Raymond played at Northern Illinois, he's a tight end back in the early 90s. They head right to the 10. It was second down and 3 with the ball in midfield for Northern Illinois. Still early in this third quarter. You kind of get the feeling, John.
Get a score here, you're in the game. Most importantly, they just want to possess this football, drive down the field, take the time off the clock.
Harbison may have gotten a little bit of positive yardage there after he was hit behind the line initially by Marvin Wilson.
You know, Mark, this drive will go a long way for Northern Illinois if they can get this first down on 3rd and 3. Stay on the field, because Rod Carey, their head coach, they told us during the week, we want to be able to make this a 4-quarter football game. If we can get it into the 4th quarter within a score or 10 points, we've got a chance to win.
As you see, they're converting on just a third of their third downs today, 3 of 9. Hands off, and Harbison is stuffed, and he is stopped well short. So they stayed on the ground, 3rd and 3. Dontavius Jackson and DeKalen Brooks were right there to make the play.
If I'm Rod Carey, I'm not so sure I'm rolling the dice right here. You haven't been able to move Florida State off the line of scrimmage. Let's play field position, pin them back. Florida State hasn't shown any consistency on offense to start this half. I would play field position. That's what they're going to do with this punting unit.
Jay Matthews back at his 12 to receive the Bat Ferentz punt. High short punt that he's trying to pin him in, and it's going to land out of bounds inside the 15. A sunny Saturday in Tallahassee here at Florida State. 20-7 Seminoles. We're about midway through this third quarter. Seminoles take over at their own 20-yard line, and Francois hands it off to Cam Akers. Forward progress would get him a couple of yards to the 22. What else do you want to see from this offense?
I'd like to see him be more aggressive, to be honest with you. It just seems like they're attacking the perimeter, which is good because they've been good over 3 games in the short passing game. But it just seems like they're doing a lot and not getting a lot out of it with formations and motions. I'd like to see him go a little bit more north-south and in attack.
There they fake the jet sweep to Murray. Akers runs for a yard. There's Walt Bell, the very young offensive coordinator for the Seminoles. Who've been at Maryland last couple of years as the OC.
Hard job for Walt right now with the flux of injuries and all the inconsistency on the offensive line to try to hang your hat on something. I know the quick passing game's been good, but the explosive play from Florida State has not been there through 3 weeks.
High snap brought down by Francois. Adjusting and making the catch. Naquan Murray, first down at the 45 of NIU.
There you go, a little bit more north and south and let your athletes make some plays versus one-on-one coverage. Good job on the 50-50 ball. Murray's going to climb the ladder and take it away from the NIU defender. That's just a good job of recognizing, turning your head, locating the football before Lance DeVoe does.
There is an NIU player down. So with the Husky player down, we'll step aside once again. Tonight, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. 7th ranked Stanford, number 20 Oregon face it off in Eugene on Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. And it also streams live on the ESPN app. We look for Bryce Love to be playing tonight for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Justin Herbert, the quarterback. At least 250 yards and 3 touchdowns in all 3 games he's played this year.
Cam Akers up near another first down. Stopped by Andrew Gregory. By the way, Jack Heflin was the NIU player that was down before we went to break. Got up and went to the sideline and jumped on an exercise bike, so it looks like he may be coming back in.
The one thing we haven't seen a lot of today from Florida State is that tempo. You know, they haven't shown a lot of tempo. They're on the line of scrimmage, but it's not necessarily going as fast as they normally would.
Akers cuts it right, trying to cut back. All down at the 32 by Vinny Labus. A 4-yard run. First down for the Noles.
Explosive running back is Cam Akers. He has instant speed. He gets to that top speed in about 2 or 3 steps, and he's tough to bring down.
Who was a true freshman last year, 1,024 rush yards. This broke Dalvin Cook's freshman rushing record. It's Anthony Grant getting a carry. He will lose a yard. Grant, a true freshman from the Atlanta area for Georgia. We got a heads up from Walt Bell. We may see Anthony Grant at some point today, and he makes good on that promise. One carry for Grant. He's out. Akers back in. More Cam Akers. The 25, tripped up by Lance DeVoe, an 8-yard run.
Good job by the offensive line on that zone read off the left side. Williams in the game still for Bello at that left tackle, so he did a nice job of moving people against their will. Now that puts the Seminoles in a good 3rd down situation.
For a high snap once again. It's handed off to Akers. Weston Kramer keeping him to no gain.
This offensive line needed to move people on the Huskies defensive front there on 3rd down. They don't get it done. That's going to bring on the field goal opportunity, but that's been part of the problem. 10 different offensive linemen have seen action, and it's not just at one position. It's at guard one week, it's at tackle the next week. It's been a really unfortunate situation due to injury and due to lack of productivity up front.
Aguayo hit from 42 and then 50 to end the first half, and this from 42. So it's been a good day for Ricky Aguayo, who's now hitting 3 from 42 plus yards. It makes it 23-7 Florida State. Update brought to you by Dr. Pepper. A little bit of a challenge for Penn State last night, close until the 4th quarter. Georgia beat up Mizzou today by 43-29 count. And Notre Dame big over Wake Forest.
Yeah, surprised that Georgia game was going back and forth early, but looked like depth and dominance take over in the second half.
Coming out to the 25. Well, still 4:27 left, 3rd quarter. If you're Northern Illinois, you're not out of the game, but you got to get something going offensively.
You got to feel like you need that one play to get that little spark going, or you got to be able to sustain a drive and take this 4:27 off the clock and make it count, not for 3 points, but a touchdown. That'd give your defense a little confidence coming back out against Francois and company.
Saw those numbers, whether it be time of possession, total yards, everything, really almost a 2-to-1 in favor of Florida State, but some good fight there. Spencer Tears happy to be back playing again, and brought down by Jackson, but a 12-yard run.
That'll get you going.
Yeah.
That'll get you going. Good effort. Good second and third effort to move the chains. Now a little more tempo on the Northern Illinois offense. I think they need to do that. Get that spark after that positive play.
Keep Tears there at the top of the screen. Childers may have decided a little too late. Held on to it. He gets sacked by Kyle Myers.
Myers comes from the short side, and Childers thought he's going to still beat him. He knows he doesn't have enough people to block the blitz coming from the top side. Just too many Florida State Seminoles. There's the defensive back coming in late. The ball had to be gone before 14 appeared, and he was able to make the play.
Try to set up that tunnel screen. DJ Brown tackled shy of the 30 by Hampson Nasruddin. Only picked up 3 yards. And a 3rd and long upcoming here. 3rd and 18.
That was good pressure by Harlan Bennett, the defensive coordinator. Hadn't talked a little bit about him today, but did a nice job on that pressure after the explosive play from Northern Illinois. Comes right back with that short corner blitz.
Illegal substitution, defense, 12 players in formation. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So 3rd and 18 becomes a 3rd and 13. Three of 10 on 3rd down today.
Yeah, that's been the problem down for Northern Illinois, and because of the situation like now, when you have over 7 or 10 yards, this time 3rd and 13.
Childers finds him in stride. DJ Brown off to the races. Inside the 10, 5, touchdown. There's the explosive play Northern Illinois has been waiting for all day.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Great pass protection. It's 3rd and long. You've been really poor on 3rd down the entire afternoon. And Marcus Childers is able to stand in there untouched and throw a strike down the middle. And now it looks like the Huskies are going to go for 2.
66-yard touchdown reception. 2nd TD catch of the year for DJ Brown. So they're thinking here, go for 2 to make it a 1-possession game if they can convert.
They better call timeout.
Play clock down to 2. They still have players coming in. And Ron Carey thinking he got the timeout first before the penalty flags came out. Or did he?
He signaled for timeout. I'm not so sure the officials gave him a timeout. I don't think the linesman acknowledged the timeout.
False start. Offense. 11 players did not get set. 5-yard penalty. Replay the try.
Mark, this reminded me shades of the Canadian Football League. I thought I was playing quarterback again. I saw guys in motion coming from behind the quarterback, but you're trying to go for 2. Rod Carey calls timeout, but the official on the sideline of the Huskies never acknowledged, so it's going to give him a try now from the 8.
Wow. What do you think about going for it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd take your PAT and leave, huh? Well, they're going to try a little trick play. Wesley looking back for Childers. He's going to run up the middle. He's got it inside the 5 and dropped at the 4. They tried a little gadget play there, and I think they wanted to come back to the quarterback.
Yeah, and I think Coach Carey's a little having a disagreement with the official on the sidelines. He got the timeout called in plenty of time, but no one ever saw it. And Childers in a bad spot. You kind of throw that gadget play from the 8-yard line, and I agree with you, Mark. Maybe take your point, make it 23-14, so if you get a field goal somewhere down the line, you're okay, instead of chasing the points with 2:48 left to go.
Well, watching that replay, they had Childers covered because he kind of hesitated. And I think that's why Wesley decided not to throw it, and then he took off and ran. But they're back in the game thanks to the long touchdown throw to DJ Brown.
Great execution on the line of scrimmage. Nobody near the quarterback. Plenty of time to scan the football field, the secondary, and find a streaking DJ Brown for 66 and 6 out the gate. So that's a good job up front. Perfect throw down the middle, and then pure speed to get into the end zone. Yeah, you love this as a quarterback. Just after you throw a dime down there, you get your team excited, you get a little hyped up. You say, hey, we're back in this football game, and it's only a 10-point deficit at 23-13.
Haney and Grant back from Florida State to receive the kickoff from Andrew Gantz. Flag. Right where the kick came from, but the return out to the 27 by Anthony Grant. Go against Northern Illinois.
Be interesting to see if they tack this on.
Offside, kicking team, number 21. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run, first down.
So 2:42 left in this third quarter, and we'll step aside for just 15 seconds. He is going to take it at their own 32. Now, if you're Northern Illinois, you just got the explosive play. Yeah, you didn't convert the 2-point conversion, but you need a defensive stop.
Absolutely. You have to do a good job here on first down and limit the Seminoles.
Patrick for a couple up to the 34.
Positive play for Northern Illinois on first down. You limit that run up the middle. If you're Florida State, I think you have to protect the football. The last thing you want to do is put it on the ground again. That's happened a couple times behind the line of scrimmage. But you're just trying to get your very first down of this drive. That's the job of Deondre at quarterback.
Jet sweep on that little shovel pass. Harrison dropped at the 40, about 2 yards from a first down by Traquan Smith.
It's a great individual effort behind the line of scrimmage. This should be a negative play. And Gavin does a good job of navigating from left to right, making people miss. I'm sorry, Harrison does. And he's able to make a positive play out of a negative play. But that's an example of East and West football. They're better going north and south against this defense.
Sutton Smith back in the game. He hits the quarterback, but it's already been handed off to Patrick, who'll power forward for a first down to the 44. Jordan Cole getting the stop that time. We haven't said Sutton Smith's name a lot. This is a really exciting player for Northern Illinois who led the nation in tackles for loss last year, was tied for the national lead in sacks. Explosive player.
Let's credit that offensive line, the right side. There he is.
He's going to get his second tackle of the game. And that's a tackle for loss. A loss of 1. He now has 7.5 tackles for loss this season.
Well, he sheds the block of Scott right at the line of scrimmage in perfect position. Squares up. That's textbook. Wrap up, roll up, get the running back on the ground. So Sutton Smith, you should mention his name more often.
Well,
he's going to make some plays.
When we talked to Walt Bell, the offensive coordinator for the Seminoles, and the Seminole offensive players, yeah, that's the first name they mentioned.
Yeah.
They know all about Sutton Smith. He really has an interesting backstory of how he wound up at Northern Illinois. A guy who was just an absolute maniac in the weight room. It's a handoff. Patrick. Not much there. Hey, Ed Ashoff, he is a maniac in the weight room, isn't he, Sutton Smith?
Oh, yeah. I mean, his brother, Sean, is a bodybuilder, but this guy was a running back and a safety in high school. He weighed 194 pounds. Now he's playing at like 235 to 240 because he's trying to pack in 4,000 to 5,000 calories every day, 3 protein shakes, and at least 5 regular meals. I don't know if you guys can do that. I can't.
Don't we all do that?
5,000 calories a day?
Oh, I wouldn't be walking around, that's for sure.
We're heading to the fourth quarter and State on top of Northern Illinois. And a flag pre-snap going against Florida State.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Now, this has been a pretty clean game, penalty-wise, through about halftime, and then in the second half, that's kind of fallen by the wayside.
Well, when you get the injury to Bello at left tackle, it seems like when Williams came into the game, they've called 2 pre-snap penalties on the left tackle, so it's going to cost you 10 yards. And for an offense that hasn't been able to get it going and find that rhythm or consistency in the second half.
So 3rd and 16 to begin the fourth quarter for Florida State. Swing the pass out to DJ Matthews. Brought down by Tefante Hunt. 4th down, Florida State to punt. So Sutton Smith and the Northern Illinois defense holding to get the football back.
Yeah, one of those leaders on the defense, the best defensive player on that unit, found a way to get some penetration in the Seminole backfield and trying to get that side of the football excited.
Fair catch taken at the 22 by Cole Tucker. Well, Sutton Smith, who was last year's MAC Defensive Player of the Year, this week again the Extra Yard for Teachers, a celebration of teachers led by the College Football Playoff Foundation through its Extra Yard for Teachers platform. You can go to cfp-foundation.org to learn more. And we asked Sutton Smith about a teacher who helped him when he was young. And he brought up Miss Jamie Ellison, one of his teachers from Francis Howell High School in the St. Louis area in St. Charles, who helped him with a big turning point where Smith basically his freshman year, he just blew all his finals, which made his GPA a work in progress for the next 3 years. On a run, Childers. A couple of yards to the 25, and here he is with his teacher, Ms. Ellison, who was a big influence on his life. He said it took his sophomore, junior, and senior years to kind of get his grades back up, which did affect where he wound up. He was able to fortunately land at Northern Illinois, but as a junior in high school, he was in Nick Saban's office at Alabama in Tuscaloosa at a camp after his junior year of high school. So he was on a lot of schools' radar. And a big thanks, our Extra Yard for Teachers Week, to his teacher, Ms. Jamie Ellison at Francis Howell High School. That's Velos. Nathan Velos, who is down. A 3rd and 9.
Facing a 3rd down and 9 from their own 24.
We really want to protect the football here.
Childers. Too far for the intended receiver, DJ Brown.
It looked like DJ Brown may have run the wrong route or a different route than Marcus Childers expected. He held up around the 40-yard line and ran a comeback, and the ball went down the field as if he was to run a go route.
Yeah, something definitely looked out of sync.
Good pressure in the pocket, maybe forced Childers to throw it before he was ready as well.
It's Matthews back at the Florida State 40 to receive this Matt Ferentz punt. That one, a kind of low liner that's going to go out of bounds around the 40 of Florida State. So it's going to be very good field position for the Seminoles. We're going to try to add to their 10-point lead. Year 1 for head coach Willie Taggart. You know, he called it his dream job. A guy who's a Florida native. Went to high school in Bradenton, just south of Tampa. And only the 3rd head coach since 1976.
That's amazing with Bobby Bowden and Jimbo Fisher, now Willie Taggart. And you're right, this is the only job that he would have left, I think, Oregon for. That's what he said. And it's one of those things where he needs to get this team to play winning football. And it's not about his message or technique. It's just about getting these guys to play up to their potential. They're closer today. Not there yet, but closer, making strides today.
Hand off to Akers, trying to find some kind of crease, given ground, and he's going to be swarmed under and tackled for a loss. back at the 37. Antonio Jones-Davis, as well as Kelty Williams and a few others for Northern Illinois. Ben Leroy in there.
You know, Mark, this Seminole offense had better balance in the first half than they've had throughout the second half. They were better run-pass ratios. They've been relying on the run in this second half, and it's really been to their detriment. I think Francois, with that quick passing game, can take some pressure off of the line of scrimmage by using those quick passes as an extension of the running game. Only 4 passes and 14 runs with 12:46 and counting left to go in this game.
Francois, pressure, chase, lost the football. Well, Sutton Smith there to make a play for NIU. That ball is recovered by Quentin Wynn.
Sutton Smith is going to come off the far edge, and he is going to come with a lot of speed and bad intentions as he strips the football away from Deondre Francois. He's going to come top of the screen. He's going to come right around the tackle. That's just a speed rush, hand on the football. That is exactly the way you practice it on a Wednesday afternoon. And that's exactly what he does in Tallahassee on a Saturday afternoon. Terrific job and explosion by Sutton Smith. And now that's instant energy for the Huskies.
We knew at some point, didn't we, Sutton Smith was going to make a play like that for NIU. So a chance to turn this game around for the Huskies. And the catch, Jawan Wesley, and an 11-yard pickup. First down at the 17 for NIU.
Willie Taggart talked a lot about adversity and how his team through 3 weeks has not been able to fight the adversity, the challenge of adversity. How do you fight it? This is a great example for this defense. Sudden change, big play for Northern Illinois. Can they fight adversity and keep this offense out of the end zone?
It's Florida State's third turnover today. Childers still looking left. Surveying now, running right. Where's he going to go? He's going to take off and step out of bounds at about the 15. Mark him out at the 16. He'll gain a yard or so on that.
Plenty of time to scan that Seminole secondary from the pocket. He decides, let's get out of here. That quarterback clock said, you know what? Bad things happen when you hang on to it this long. Let's get out and make a positive play. So now 2nd and 9 for Childers and company on offense.
Tucker's the receiver up top with Brown in the slot.
Yeah, Brown in the slot might be the place to go.
Looking in that direction. Childers pressured. Gets away. Still looking. Throws to the sideline and a catch at the 14 by Tucker. Not much of a gain, just a couple of yards.
I think it was a 2-man route to the wide side. They wanted to get DJ Brown on the corner, but the pressure in the pocket really flushed Childers towards the Husky sideline and a short completion on 2nd down.
Still just converting a third of their third downs, 4 of 12 and a 3rd and 7 from inside the Florida State 15. You get a feeling here, and it's just me, John. If they're going to pull off an upset here, they need a touchdown.
Yes. They haven't been down here much.
The ruling on the field is completed catch. The previous play is under review.
Now they're going to review.
That is an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd and 9 at the 16-yard line.
So as you come back, you hear the ruling on that. Cole Tucker did not have possession, but it's only the difference of 1.5 yards, 2 yards. It's not the worst news in the world for NIU here, but it's definitely not a catch. You'll see it took him a while to collect it, and as he finally does right there, it looks like the right leg may be out of bounds.
Yeah, I agree with the official there. It took him a while to catch the football. Caught it twice. Caught it the first time and then bobbled it, caught it again, but by the time he was able to secure it, it looked like that right foot or knee may have touched out of bounds.
So the spot comes back to the 16. It's a 3rd and 9. Line to gain is about the 7. But as I mentioned before we went to break, John, I mean, they need a first down, but on this drive, if you're an NIU fan, thinking upset, touchdown on this drive is
paramount.
What you're looking for. 2 backs, Marcus Jones, Trey Harbison. Childers pressured. On the run, throws, has a man in the end zone, caught, touchdown! second of the day, Juwan Wesley. And there's the touchdown the Husky fans are looking for.
What a terrific job of extending the play, keeping it alive by Marcus Childers. There's nowhere to go with the football. He sprints to his right and throws a dart into the end zone.
Wow. They're going to bring this back. Apparently Wesley stepped out of bounds.
There's the hat on the sidelines. We didn't see that initially.
So no touchdown. And
wow, what a big play. What a big call.
A huge call.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. The previous play is under review.
So let's take another look. Did Wesley step out of bounds?
Yeah, the big thing is does he go out by himself or is he pushed out of bounds? He's right here. He's got the 10-yard line. Does he go out on his own? Right there, does that heel touch on the sideline? That's what the official called.
Oh, right there.
And there he goes out. Now he's definitely out of bounds. So even though he reestablishes himself out, he went out on his own. So he can't be the first offensive player to touch the football.
And here's a little better look, and I think right there.
I agree with you, Mark. I think it was the second time that we see him with the right foot clearly out of bounds, and the Florida State defender did not push him out of bounds. He went out on his own. Right there. I think the heel hits. You can see green on the toe, but on the heel, you see white chalk. Let's see if we can take another look at this right there. Sure looks like that heel may have hit out of bounds.
And the call on the field is that he stepped out and it's an incomplete pass. There's nothing here that's going to overturn the call on the field. If anything, it's going to help it be the call stand or be confirmed.
The ruling on the field stands, so he's fourth down.
Yeah, that's a good call. It's unfortunate for Wesley, but you have to be aware of where you are on the field, especially if you're not being pushed out. That's one thing. If a receiver feels that, sometimes he'll hold on to that defender so he can get back in bounds. But he went out on his own.
But Northern Illinois, if they can get a field goal here, can make it a 7-point game. And here's Gantz, who we saw in pregame kicking 60-yarders with his legs, so no problem. Oh, he went wide right.
That's deflating.
Totally demoralizing for NIU, who come away with no points when a few moments ago it looked like we were going to be looking at a 3-point game.
Yeah, this one looked like it was going to miss from Jump Street. It just stays right of the right upright. Florida State and their crowd excited, and on the sideline you can see the disappointment by Wesley. What looked like a touchdown, a clean touchdown, gets taken off the board, and then you don't capitalize with a chip shot field goal. This is the play again that was in question. The receiver coming in is going to step out of bounds right there inside the 5-yard line, and that was Juwan Wesley. Takes points right off the board and gives some confidence back to Florida State.
This is Murray.
On the carry.
Picks up 2.
Yeah, you can clearly see there that the foot is out of bounds, and that's a good call by the officials. We didn't pick it up initially because it looked like he rode the rail down the sidelines for the easy catch.
And I think another step after that, he stepped out of bounds again.
Yes, you're right.
Francois taking a deep shot. Terry! Touchdown, Seminoles! 78 yards. Still over 10 minutes to go, but that may be the dagger. Savorian Terry, his 3rd touchdown catch of the season. Wow, what a big turn of events here in just a sequence of a couple of plays. And the extra point makes it 30-13.
Well, Florida State took advantage, Mark, of great opportunity set up by the defense, a missed field goal, and then the guy that throws a pretty deep ball threw a very pretty deep ball right in the arms of Terry for 6. And momentum on the Seminoles side.
Just when we thought this game was going to have a lot of drama heading towards the end of the fourth quarter, we kind of got the rug pulled out from under.
We sure did, Bart.
From the 2, Kokasulis breaks the tackle up to the 25. Well, it began with the play that we initially thought was a touchdown catch for Juwan Wesley. What we didn't see was him step out of bounds right there, come back in. Then the field goal miss by Andrew Gantz. And then just a few minutes later, the Terry touchdown catch of 79 yards. And boom, it's 30-13.
Yeah, that roller coaster of emotion, you could feel Northern Illinois going through it on the sideline. You take points off the board, and now you got to strike down the middle.
DJ Brown to the sideline with a help and a nice block from Spencer Tears, and that's a big gain. First down into Seminoles territory at the 48, 27-yard pickup.
Well, if you're a quarterback, Marcus Childers, you know you have to throw the football. You've had some success throwing it here in the second half, and down 30-13 with just under 10 minutes left to go, you have to be able to pick it up. And you can see the numbers are picking up as well.
Time for Childers on that slant, juggling, almost picked off. In and out of the hands of Tears, and then the guy they call D-Jack, Dontavius Jackson, tried to make the leaping interception.
Tight window, field side on the slant route. You got to win inside if you're the outside receiver. You do. Good ball. That has to be caught. You catch, you tackle. It's 5 yards. It's a positive play.
Childers, there's a flag down at the 40. The pass incomplete in the direction of Spencer Tears.
Lots of contact. Might have been a hold by Florida State. Or potentially someone lining up in the neutral zone.
I think that was the call, yes. So it cost him 5 yards. Move it up to the 43. Well, kudos to Northern Illinois. They're not taking the foot off the gas, even though they just took a sucker punch to the gut.
Florida State making more mental mistakes in this second half. 7 penalties for only 45 yards, so it hasn't hurt them too much in yardage.
Childers, that slant route again. Brown wanting a flag, incomplete. 3rd and 5 upcoming.
I've been impressed with Childers, the way he's been able to extend plays in this second half. Lots of pressure in the pocket. He's being able to elude Brian Burns and DeMarcus Christmas and the rest of that crew on defense and still be productive down the field.
Childers trying to fit it in a tight window, and that put Tears in a tough spot there. He had a defender, Nasrildin, coming up on him, and Myers on his back.
Yeah, either way, that was going to be a headache.
Yes.
For Tears, catch or no catch.
Having an issue with our referee mic from Trey Blake, but that penalty against Northern Illinois refused by Florida State, so that's 4th down.
That offense going to stay out there with 9:26 left to go. Try to make something happen here on 4th down.
Let's see about this. Well, we were talking about that play moments ago with Tears. I think it was Nasruldeen who was coming in from the front side, Myers from the backside, and they're going to take a look and see if there may have been targeting.
Well, there was a lot of contact around the 30-35 yard line. We'll take another look at the replay. It would have been the safety. I don't know. I think it was a hand to the helmet. I didn't see that launch. I think it was the arm, the forearm, just glancing blow that caught him in the face mask. I don't think this is going to be targeting. You're looking for, that launch or that upward thrust or the lowering of the helmet and taking aim. I don't think I saw that from Nasruldeen.
No, I agree.
It wasn't the crown, and it wasn't one of those launching hits. It was an arm coming across trying to make a play on the football.
So as they review this, still just under 9.5 minutes to play with a 30-13 lead for Willie Taggart. Seminoles. John, I'm still trying to get over what happened just a few minutes ago in this game. And it looked like Northern Illinois was right back in the ball game. And Florida State's played better, but they've also gotten the benefit of a few breaks today.
They have. The ball's bounced their way. There's no doubt about that. But when you do that, you're playing hard and you're in right position. And offensively, they've gotten a couple bounces. One popped right in the arms of a Seminole wideout for a running back for a touchdown. And defensively, I thought they've done a nice job of being able to pressure the pocket here in the second half for head coach Willie Taggart.
So as we expected, ruling on the field, no targeting. And it brings up the 4th and 5 for Northern Illinois. Childers, sliding attempt incomplete. No catch for DJ Brown. Been a frustrating sequence here for them.
Yeah, that's a pass that Marcus would love to have back. He had time in the pocket. All he has to do is elevate the football. It just looks like it short hops DJ Brown.
So the Huskies turn it over on downs.
That one just looked like he just pulled the string down the middle a little bit.
So the Florida State offense comes back on the field. Been a pretty good day for the Florida State offense. Willie Taggart, who's not happy, I don't think, at the moment. Running straight ahead. Patrick for 5. We were curious of what reaction Willie Taggart was going to get pregame today, because at about 20 minutes before kick, they introduced the starting lineups for Florida State, and at the end they mentioned the name of the head coach. And with all the heat Willie Taggart has taken this week on social media, deserved or undeserved, whichever way you fall on that, it was going to be interesting to see what the crowd reaction was. So this was about 20 minutes before game time when Willie Taggart was introduced to the home crowd. And the reception was good. I expected to hear.
Were you expecting a golf clap?
Or the polite applause, but it was an. I wouldn't call it an overly enthusiastic applause, but it was applause of approval.
Absolutely, I think it was a reaction that we're behind you.
Yes, exactly.
we haven't lost faith. We're 1-2. We're not taking it very well, but we're still behind you, and you have to. This is a season and a team that can be salvaged, and the Florida State faithful have to stay behind their head coach and their team.
Hey, whether or not you think Willie Taggart was the right hire, isn't it insane to call for a guy's job after three games?
Yes. Absolutely. Quality man you got at your head coach at Florida State.
Francois, a little juggle there. Oh, throws it right into the arms of Cortez Hogans. 4th turnover today for Florida State. That's not going to make Willie Taggart and FSU fans happy.
Well, that's the last thing you want to do as a quarterback with 9:08 left to go. And Francois had his receiver wide open. I mentioned pulling the string on the last Huskies offensive series. That's exactly what happened. That ball's got to go over the outstretched arms or linebacker and not right into the arms. That was just a play that I think that you have shock if you're standing there in coverage, and Hogan's was just there thinking the ball was going to go over his head. He was going to have to jump to make a play.
First pick given up by Francois today. 5th time he's been intercepted this year. The pass goes out to Cole Tucker. He's up to the 25. Still 9 minutes to go.
Now we've got something. You know, if the Huskies can punch it in, and obviously this is 4-down territory for them. They have to be able to get the ball in the end zone. If they can get in and get a 3 and out, they've got something. Plenty of time left in this game.
Childers to the near sideline. Well covered was Wesley.
Pass intended for Wesley. Levante Taylor over the bench, 2nd down.
It's a Northern Illinois team that preseason was the pick to win the MAC West Division. This historically has been one of the heavyweights in the MAC.
Yes, absolutely. They're well coached, they're disciplined, and they have athletes. 7 players on the roster from the state of Florida, predominantly South Florida, so you know they have speed.
We mentioned it earlier. This is a rematch of the 2013 Orange Bowl. Childers sliding catch at the 22 by Tucker. Gains 4.
You know, the name we haven't mentioned much on defense is Brian Burns. Just like on the other side, Smith has been relatively quiet other than the strip sack. He had a good play in the second half for the Huskies on defense. We haven't mentioned him at all. He's going to be at the top of the screen. Brian Burns, see if he can make a play here.
Comes to the near side, incomplete, but a flag. A flag. Wesley, the intended receiver. And that's in the neighborhood. Pass interference or a hold.
And it would be Taylor with that was tangled up with the offensive player. Number 1, there he is right there on the back. I don't know, that was a stumble. It looked like the hold might have been before that, because that was a stumble and really hands on the back, but no hold. If that was the call, I don't like it, to be honest with you.
Gives a first down to NIU from the 11-yard line of the Seminoles. They stacked the 3 receivers up top. Wesley, the receiver, at the bottom. Childers going to run straight ahead inside the 5. Touchdown. A rushing touchdown for Childers. Don't count the Huskies out yet.
Beautiful design. You've got trips to the field. I'm thinking in my head, man, might be quarterback run, but he's throwing it so well. This is perfectly blocked at the line of scrimmage. Design quarterback draw, hat on a hat, good read by the quarterback to cut inside around the 3-yard line. And Marcus Childers, there's still fight left in him and the rest of the Huskies.
That's his first rushing touchdown of the year, and here they don't convert. Well, there's Burns. Said he hadn't mentioned his name. It turned into a 2-point conversion. Is ended by Burns.
There's been some issues on special teams. I don't think the holder was actually even ready for that snap. It looked like he was waiting for it. Ferentz turned his head. Then you got the Garrow, your premium throw into the end zone. Finally get to call Burns' name. Florida State still leads.
Fargo also streams live on the ESPN app. Don't miss that one. Upcoming from the West Coast.
I'm looking forward to see Bryce Love back in action for Stanford.
Yeah, we missed that one past few weeks. Campbell. We've had kind of some bizarre plays in this game, and a couple recently. The pick allowed by Francois
Well, Francois had exactly what he wanted. He had his big tight end behind the linebacker, but he can't elevate over Hogan's, and he gets the interception. And then you've got trips to the field in the red zone. Perfect call. Good read and good run. Good blocking, good effort out in front of the quarterback, who's done a really nice job. Marcus Childers in this second half, 9 of 19 for 150 yards. That rushing TD to get the score to 30-19.
What about the goal? The Raptors?
Play clock ran out.
First down.
Those are the mistakes I think the fan base get frustrated with. You come out, you get the kickoff, you're organized, you have a play call. That's solely on the quarterback, though. You should be in control of the 25-second clock, and that's the 4th pre-snap penalty. You've had a couple on a tackle, you get one on Francois there, and it just doesn't give you any momentum to start a series.
Francois hands it off. Tackle by Ben Leroy, number 99, stopping Akers. You know, if you're Northern Illinois, John, not only are you thinking about that weird where you thought you had the touchdown that was called back.
Timeout, Northern Illinois.
Now they're going to use a timeout. They'll have one left. But think about kind of the special teams points. 2-point conversion.
Failed 2-point, right?
Yeah, missed a field goal. I mean, there's 5 points right there that would make this a one-score game.
That's
again.
right.
Even with all the weird things that have happened to their detriment.
Yes, exactly, to the detriment.
Northern Illinois uses their second timeout. Rod Carey's team is going to be at Eastern Michigan next week, so they're back into MAC play after getting a win over Central Michigan last week. Still got under 8 minutes to go here. If you're Northern Illinois, what are you feeling? What are you taking away?
Well, I think it's a good timeout by Coach Carey. You've got 7:51 left to go in this football game. You've got Florida State behind the chain, so you've got a good idea that you're going to be successful here in these 2 plays coming up. Got some momentum on your side. If you can get a sack, if you can get a tackle for loss, that's what you're looking for right now out of these Huskies defense.
Akers to the 19. It's going to be a 3rd and 11. They're coming here for the Seminoles. And Northern Illinois is going to use their final timeout. So with 7:44 left here in Tallahassee, we'll step aside for 7:44 left, trailing Florida State 30-19. Tonight after Arizona State and Washington wrap things up, make sure you stick around for SportsCenter with Stan and Neil. Herb Street and Fowler break down the upcoming Stanford-Oregon game. Also reaction from Urban Meyer, his return today. All the top plays and moments from college football as well on SportsCenter tonight. Patrick, first down run up to the 35. He needed 11 and got 16.
Well, let's credit that offensive line in the tough north-south running of Patrick. That's an offensive line that just wheels you out of the way. That's a great job by Arthur Williams, the converted defensive tackle, playing left guard for the Seminoles.
Francois. Incomplete. This is the definition of physical north-south running.
Well, it's just a great job. You wall everybody down. That's an enormous hole for a big back to run through. And that was the longest run on the afternoon for Florida State. What I don't agree with, now you've got momentum on first down. Run the football and just get the clock started. Now's not the time to go north and south with the vertical passing game.
Which the incomplete pass stopped the clock with 7:21 left. Francois keeping it. Just a yard for Deondre Francois.
Well, more importantly for Florida State, that clock's going to continue to grind, and that's why I disagree with the first down call, because you could probably take another 40 seconds off of the clock now. That's just under 7 minutes. You'd be closer to 6 minutes left to go in this game, and that's valuable, only up 11 points.
Well, certainly steps have been made for Willie Taggart at Florida State, but there's a lot of steps to be taken.
Well, it just seems like this team, you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back at certain points of this game.
Francois on the quarterback draw. Upended at the 40 by Lance DeVoe. The clock will continue to run.
I might even think Willie Taggart might take this all the way down and potentially use one of his timeouts just to exhaust this clock under 6 minutes.
Logan Tyler on the punt.
Logan Tyler to punt for the Seminoles. His 4th of the day. Tucker having to retreat all the way to his 10 with a fair catch. Good punt by Tyler. 47 yards. Hey, you can stream college football all season long on ESPN Plus. You can start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com. And hey, NIU fans, the game at Eastern Michigan next Saturday for Northern Illinois, that's on ESPN Plus.
A lot of ways to access your college football these days, and that app is terrific.
Just under 6 minutes to go. You see the numbers for Childers today. He has a long field here, starting at his own 11. Crossing route, cut back by Tucker. Gains about 5 to the 16. Stopped by Frederick Jones.
If you're Florida State, all you want to do is keep Northern Illinois in bounds. Minimal gains, keep everything in front of you, tackle well in space. That's your goal on defense.
Childers to Brown. DJ slides down at the 22. And a first down for the Huskies.
Good awareness by Brown, knowing where he's at. The clock's going to stop with the movement of the chains, so he's able to get back to the line of scrimmage, give his quarterback a chance.
Hey, Brown, 5 catches for 104 yards today.
He's been impressive.
Childers. Once again, DJ Brown. Let me update that. He's now at 7 catches. He's pushing 120 receiving yards.
You know, Mark, and he had a couple of chances on some deep balls early in the game where he dropped one towards the Northern Illinois bench. It would have been a bigger day for him.
Brown does have the 66-yard touchdown reception. That was the big explosive play so far today for NIU. Childers. Time running out, but sees Tucker there on the sideline, who catches and falls out of bounds at the 35. That is a reception. And a first down.
Kyle Myers, the corner, the short corner from Florida State to the short side of the field, came on that blitz and made Childers a little bit uncomfortable, but he did a nice job of eluding pressure and finding a first down.
Bring 5, but the pass a little behind Cole Tucker.
Childers has done a nice job of moving around the pocket. This one he wanted to put right out in front. He had plenty of time. He just misfires down the middle. Well behind Tucker.
Childers again stands tall, but that's batted down. And the clock stops with 4:06 to play.
Looked like Emmett Rice may have gotten his hand on the football there at the line of scrimmage. Florida State exhausting some of these linebackers and defensive ends and defensive tackles in this game. They've rolled through a good number of players on that defensive side.
Time running out for Childers, and he just slings it to the sideline.
That brings up 4th down 10.
That ball, I don't know if it made it to the line of scrimmage or not. And the officials are talking here.
That's the discussion.
This is going to be grounding.
He was inside the tackle box. It was
There's no foul for intentional grounding. Number 9 was in the area.
Okay. That
There we go.
Close enough with Wesley.
4th down.
But 4th and 10 from their own 35 for NIU. What may be a last gasp here with 4:01 to play.
If you're the Seminoles, where's DJ Brown? That's the guy that's been hurting you this afternoon.
Looking in Brown's direction. Now in trouble. Childers sacked, and they'll turn it over on downs. Back at the 27 is Kyle Myers with the sack for Florida State.
All Marcus Childers wanted to do was throw this football anywhere. He's looking to the field side, doesn't like it. Getting a little pressure in the pocket. Now once you turn your back to the line of scrimmage, that's when you're in trouble. And the last thing you want to do is take a sack on 4th down. Just throw it somewhere, and there's a happy head coach, Willie Taggart, on that Florida State sideline. Yeah, just throw it anywhere. That's the message on the sidelines on 4th down. May have to take a timeout.
Yeah. Use their first.
Timeout. Florida State. Their first of the half. It'll be
These penalties are potential penalties. They use a timeout. I think what's driving them crazy.
These are the things that need to be cleaned up. This is the frustration on the coach's side. When you want to get personnel out there and you have to waste a timeout, you've got 3:38. As a player, you have to know what formation is out there, if you're supposed to be on the field or not. But as a coach, more importantly, and a position coach, I'm sure that Willie's going to take to task, that responsibility for whoever's organizing the guys going out on the field. 9 penalties, 60 yards, and against the ACC opponent that you play next on the road in Louisville, those make a big difference. Not that they didn't today, but they start to creep into your game, into your psyche a little bit. Those negative plays before the snap.
And 4 turnovers today.
That's right.
3 fumbles and the 1 pick. Willie Taggart, we saw some emotion a few moments ago, the frustration, but for the most part, has been pretty even keel today with his team looking to even their record at 2-2. Seminole fans probably remember last year the team started 0-2, were 1-3 through 4 games, and were 2-5.
Right.
And they had to win their last 4 games, 5 of their last 6, just to get above 500 and to qualify for a bowl.
I think some of these mistakes, with Willie's frustration, I may be reading into it, but it's mental toughness for 60 minutes. It's not letting your guard down when you have a lead against the team you think you should beat anyway. It's not about this game. It's about the next game that you're trying to play, because it's going to be tougher on the road.
Because they got to play in Louisville next week. Then they're at Miami.
Right.
They get Wake Forest here for their next home game on October 20th. Clemson comes to town. So that's what's ahead for Willie Taggart and the Seminoles.
Yeah, that at Louisville and at Miami, those are going to be tough football games for the Florida State Seminoles. The Miami-Florida State rivalry speaks for itself. You come home for Wake Forest, then you stay in Tallahassee for Clemson, and that's always, no matter what your record is, that's the game you have to get up for, because if you don't, you're going to get run over. That's a very good Clemson football team. Those are the types of mistakes that you see today. Pre-snap, you can't make against anybody that we talked about on that schedule.
Amir Rasul gets in and gets a carry up near the 20-yard line, 4-yard gain.
Good job by the Seminoles today of maybe not having their A game, but they made enough plays. They were fortunate enough with some bounces early in the first half. They played more soundly, I think, on offense. The offensive line was night and day better today than they have been over the first 3 weeks.
That will not go unnoticed. 3rd and 2, Rasul. First down. We could pretty well eat the clock from here, so Florida State's going to go to 2 and 2.
Hard-fought win for the Seminoles at home. NIU is a good football team. We're going to see them play well and have a positive outcome on their season in the MAC this year. It's a good football team.
Willie Taggart, the Tampa area native, played at Manatee High School in Bradenton, Florida. All this Seminole job, his dream job. Rasul carries. The dream job, right, Ed, for Willie Taggart?
Yeah, I asked him earlier this year, how hard was it to leave Oregon? And he said in his 42 years of living, it's the hardest decision he's made. And one thing that he told me was when his father died last August, he realized how important family was. And he needed to get back to Florida when he could. And it was just kind of the perfect situation that Florida State came open. But I'll tell you what, his family loved Florida so much. His wife, Tanisha, didn't even go to Oregon with him at the time. She waited because they had just built a brand new house there. And she waited until she could actually live in it for a little bit before she went to Oregon.
Well, happy wife, happy life a lot of times.
That's right.
Especially in that profession of coaching. Rasul down near the 7. Hey, don't forget tonight, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. It's number 7 Stanford, number 20 Oregon, facing off in Eugene. Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. It also streams live on the ESPN app. Game day was there this morning in Eugene.
Great atmosphere.
It was bright and early for them on the West Coast. We're watching here in the Eastern time zone. It was.
I had a coffee. Yeah, checking it out. It's 6 in the morning. It's still dark out there. That's right.
Final 20 seconds.
Rasul!
His first career touchdown.
Well, he's known for his pure speed, but on this drive here, Rasul did a good job of squaring up his shoulders and getting into the end zone. Good cut to the outside. He recognized it. He burst through the line of scrimmage, then runs his own player over to get into the end zone. Good effort by the young back.
7-yard touchdown run for the Coral Gables, Florida native. Guayo knocks through the point after, and with 12 seconds left, 37-19, Florida State.
Northern Illinois, 19.
So this is their highest point total. They beat Sanford 36-26. So the 37 points, the most scored by Florida State under Coach Taggart.
I got a feeling that Coach Taggart's going to be happy with the win. I know Seminole fans are going to be happy with the win. They get back to 500. But as hard as those meetings have been over the last 3 weeks, this one might be even harder, because when you win, you think everything, it masks everything, it disguises everything, all your flaws. But I think Willie will be more critical to his team to say, yeah, we were pretty good, but this is where we need to improve to beat this next team. This is where we need to go. This is where Miami is right now, and here's where you guys are. If we can limit those mistakes and play, we have talent, but you can't beat yourself week in and week out.
Well, think about just for a moment what this town would have been like, the fan base, had they lost this game today.
I want to just be able to get to my car and get back to South Florida.
Probably time for one more snap for Northern Illinois. Louisiana Tech taking on a hot LSU team next on ESPNU. Northern Illinois probably thinking, even though it's going to look kind of lopsided, like, what if? What if a few things go our way? What if we don't make mistakes on?
Well, the ball
special
definitely
teams?
didn't bounce their way. And I know head coach Rod Carey's disappointed in the outcome of the game, but he has to be proud of the way his team fought back in to give themselves a chance. He wanted to make it a 4-quarter game, and it was about 3.5 quarters. And they were pretty close to accomplishing their task today.
37-19, Florida State beats Northern Illinois here in Tallahassee. We're going to send you to Death Valley, La Tech, LSU. Mike Cousins, Kirk Morrison on the call. For John Kajimi, Ed Ashoff, and our crew, I'm Mark Neely. So long from Tallahassee.
There we go.